Hi everybody, welcome. Welcome to Head-Royce and welcome to our first webinar. We're excited to get to know you, and the purpose of this webinar today is to give you information about the fine arts electives and to help you learn more about the program so that you can make good course selections in a couple days. I'm going to start by explaining the setup, which is that there are live video screens where you can see the presenters, my colleagues, and me as moderator. And we will be welcoming live questions. So if you want to ask a question, click the Q&A button in the upper right or left-hand corner of your video screen. You have to be logged into Google Hangouts, though, to ask a question. So if you don't have a Google account, please email questions to admissions@headroyce.org, and we'll try to get them answered. Once this webinar is over, we will post the recordings on our website, and specifically at www.headroyce.org/new9. And then I just wanted to give you a couple reminders about the 9th grade spring orientation this Wednesday, April 27th at 2:15, up until 5, which is if you take both placement tests. And then to have you sign up for academic advising sessions this Saturday, April 30th. I'm now going to turn over the mic to my colleagues to have them introduce themselves and briefly talk about their departments. And then when we're done, we'll open it up for questions and answers. Bob, Ann, say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you, Shahana, for that introduction. I do believe that the 215 is in the Reed Library. Is that correct, Ms. Sarkar? I do believe. Good afternoon. My name is Bob Wells, longtime choral music teacher here at Head-Royce. I am currently the Fine Arts Department Chair. Seated beside me is a longtime colleague and art teacher, Ann Murphy. We are representing the amazing Fine Arts Department faculty and are here to help you better understand the Fine Arts electives that you will soon be registering for. I will give you an overview of the Fine Arts elective options and requirements, and then Ms. Murphy and I will go into a little bit of depth about the various courses that you can sign up for. I will talk about the performing arts options, and Ms. Murphy will speak to you about the visual art options. Before I launch into our discussion about the Fine Arts electives, I wanted to give you a big welcome to all of the new incoming students and their families. From all of us here at Head-Royce, welcome. What a joy it was to meet your families and your parents last week at our new parents reception, and now I am excited to meet all the new students on Wednesday. My 20-plus years at the school have been a very rewarding experience for my family and I. As a teacher and as a parent of 2 boys who received their education here, Head-Royce is a caring and loving community that offers an engaging and compelling education in the arts, in athletics, and of course, in academics. Okay, on with the Fine Arts Selective Show. I will admit that this interactive webinar is our very first attempt to get important information out to the students via computer. I am a little bit old school, but welcome to the 21st century, Bob. Here's how I believe the webinar is supposed to work. As we speak about the Fine Arts curriculum, examine the courses, and address requirements, all of you out there will think up questions to ask. Type them up and send them our way. We will then respond to the questions you send as we proceed. You should have access soon, if not already, to our Head-Royce School Curriculum Summary form that outlines the fine arts class choices. If you don't have it, you can get that at headroyce.org/scheduling. It can be located online. This form is not necessary for today's webinar, but you will need this form to refer to when you register for your classes. Hard copies of the form should be available in the Reed Library this Wednesday at the 9th grade spring orientation. Once again, that's headroyce.org/scheduling. Full fine arts course descriptions can be located online too. Be sure to read up on the fine arts course that you register for to make sure that it's a course you're interested in. No worries though. In the fall, after you receive your class schedule, you can have a short window of time there is a short window of time, maybe about 2 weeks,
That's
to make changes to your schedule. We call this the add drop period. Generally speaking, the Fine Arts Department would like you to register for 2 introductory fine arts courses. In the visual arts, this includes 2D art, 3D art, Photo 1. In the performing arts, this includes Introduction to Dance, Drama 1, and Intro to Theater. Find an interest to pursue and get passionate about that interest and follow your interests for the next 4 years. There are 3 other courses open to 9th graders that I encourage you to register for if they interest you. They are Chorus, Intro to Jazz Band, and Graphics. These options are listed as advanced courses on the curriculum summary form. Because they are more than 2 days a week, they are on the curriculum summary form because they meet more than 2 days a week, and they do meet the UC graduation requirement. If you choose one of these 3 courses, you might not be able to fit 2 fine arts courses into your schedule. These 3 courses, Chorus, Intro to Jazz, and Graphics, do fulfill the UC graduation requirement. You can complete your Head-Royce Fine Arts graduation requirement by completing in your sophomore year an advanced fine arts course. Most advanced courses meet 3 to 5 periods a week, unlike intro courses that meet 2 days a week. And advanced courses require having taken the introduction course prerequisite. Advanced visual arts courses include Advanced 2D, Advanced 3D art, Photo 2, and filmmaking. Advanced performing art classes include Advanced Dance, Drama 2, Advanced Jazz Band, that's Caravan, and Cola Voce, that's our vocal ensemble. Also remember that Graphics, Chorus, and Intro to Jazz Band fulfill the Fine Arts Head-Royce graduation requirement if taken your sophomore year. It is recommended that the AP Art and AP Music Theory not be taken until your junior or senior year. Sadly to say, orchestra will not be offered this fall. Please check in with me if you play a string instrument. There are many opportunities for string players to perform, including the spring musical. If you are an advanced musician and would like to audition for Caravan, that's the advanced jazz band, or Cola Voce, the advanced vocal ensemble, please contact me, or feel free to contact Josh Tower directly if you would like to audition for Caravan. Auditions for next year's Caravan and Cola Voce are held throughout this upcoming month of May. 9th graders may only be accepted into these groups by audition. Now I'd like to turn the microphone over to Ann Murphy, who will present more in-depth detail about the visual arts courses offered in the 9th grade. And then I will speak after her about the 9th grade performing arts courses offered in the 9th grade. Ms. Murphy?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Ann Murphy. And if you're available and when you're on campus on Wednesday and you have questions, you're welcome to come see me. I'm not far from the library, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, and it would be really nice to meet you. So I have a little cheat sheet, so I might look down occasionally just to make sure that I don't forget a detail for you. But as a 9th grader, you would take a beginning studio art class. So your options for that would be beginning 2D art, and then I'll go into a little detail into that, beginning 3D art, and beginning photo. So beginning 2D art is, when I say 2D, it's painting, it's drawing, it's printmaking, sometimes it's collage, but it's an investigation of the formal elements of art. And because it's a beginning class, you're not expected to have a ton of experience. In fact, I expected people to come into beginning 2D classes with very little experience. And it's important to know that over the course of your high school experience, you can gain the a lot of experience and expertise in painting and drawing and printmaking. So once you have fulfilled the beginning 2D prerequisite in your freshman year, that means once a week for 2 periods, then you qualify for advanced 2D. But I'm going to go back to beginning 3D because that's what you'd be taking as a freshman. So the three-dimensional class for beginners is, once again, meets twice a week. And it is a very in-depth three-dimensional exploration of many types of sculpture making. So there's traditional things like ceramics and hand building in clay. We have wheels in the sculpture center, so you can learn to throw pots. There's also a very wonderful and new maker center down there, which involves things like 3D printing and carpentry. I know that there's, you learn how to use power tools, and I know that they built things like birdhouses this year. So this really is a really nice project. So that's beginning 3D. So like beginning 2D, you're learning the elements of sculptural three-dimensional building.
And?
Yeah, have I gone over?
No, we have a question from Phineas Patterson asking if we offer any digital arts.
Oh, hi, Phineas. Yes, to answer your question, there is, okay, so for digital arts, I'm going to give you 2 options as a freshman. The first is photo. And all of the photography here is digital, so you use a digital camera, and then you learn how to use Photoshop. You'll be learning the beginning stages of Photoshop. Photoshop is a huge tool. It's very in-depth. So in the beginning stages of photography, you'll start to see what that platform can do. Another option for you, if you're interested in digital arts, is the graphic design class, which I teach also. And that class, in addition to publishing, designing, and building the school yearbook, we also design posters for school events, and we design t-shirts, and that class uses the Adobe suite of software. So InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator, I think I've forgotten one more, but those for sure. So those are your digital options.
3D art?
In 3D art now they have the 3D printer, and actually, Phineas, in many circumstances, technology has touched all levels of art making. So I think you'll see that when you come here, that there's plenty of opportunities to explore that part of art if that's what you're interested in. Did I get it? Did I answer that question?
Are there other options for the art, like photo options?
Yeah, so photo, there's beginning photo. So I was giving you my spiel, and Phineas's question came in, which is great. So did I miss describing beginning photo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so beginning photo also meets twice, 2 periods a week.
So, and let me clarify for one moment. So the intro art classes, visual arts classes, meet for a 90-minute block, but once a week, one time per week. So the 2 periods means 2 45-minute periods.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification.
So beginning photo, you're introduced to the functions, the elements, the tool of the camera, and you're also introduced to Photoshop and how those two interface. And you explore different types of assignments on campus. You work with your classmates. There's a very collaborative nature. And the camera that you use is basically a point and shoot as a freshman. And then once you have passed the proving ground of beginning photo and you make it into advanced photo, that's when you're introduced to a much more complicated tool, which is the SLR camera. And, in all of these did you just say something, Shahana?
No, I was looking at my list of questions.
Okay. In all of these classes, there's something that is called sequential learning. So as a beginning artist, you're learning the tools and the techniques that you'll need to go on to an advanced art class. So the sequence is, as freshmen, we start to put things in place so that you have the right skill set to keep moving up through art making in your high school experience. Okay, so I think I've covered the beginning art classes. So,
Great.
Pardon?
I think that sounds great. And Bob, maybe you can give a quick overview of the performing arts because we only have a few more minutes.
Okay. Well,
we want you to sign up for introductory courses, and some of the introductory courses in the performing arts, you can sign up for a visual arts and a performing arts if you like in the introductory classes. Katie Kruger teaches 3 periods a week, 2 days a week, and she is our new dance instructor and has a wonderful dance program. We got Katie Kruger from the Shaw Anderson Dance Company in Berkeley, and she's very excited to be teaching this year. You can sign up for Drama 1. That's with Kathleen Ray, and in the Drama 1 class, you get acting technique, and they have 2 or 3 performances a year. In addition to that, we have the introduction to the jazz band. That's with Josh Tower, and he has a fall concert and a spring concert. We'd also like you to consider signing up for tech theater. You design sets, you work on lighting and sound, and it's kind of behind-the-scenes work for the various things that we do throughout the year. Some of those things are the fall play, and this year we have a fall musical. And other courses that you can sign up for, advanced courses that you can sign up for, not advanced courses, excuse me, chorus is not an advanced course, but it's a wonderful way to get beginning voice instruction and to perform in fall concert and the spring concert. Yes?
We have a question from Sonia M. Her
Hi, Sonia.
Her question is, do I need previous experience to be doing dance?
You do not need any dance other than just wanting to dance to sign up for the beginning or introduction to dance class, and I highly recommend it. Also, FADE, the Fine Arts Dance Ensemble, is a dance troupe that's student-run in the school that is very active. There's 50 to 60 9, 10, 11, and 12 grade students who dance maybe 5 days a week at lunchtime, but we also have a dance class. I did want to tell you about Cola Voce, which is one of the auditioned vocal ensembles at school, and it performs 6 to 8 times a year. We tour every year or every other year, and we do wonderful variety of music from Renaissance to modern music. We actually performed an opera this year in the fall, and actually we're going to put on a Pops concert this week, right? And our last rehearsal coincides with the visiting of the school. So if you want to come a little bit earlier than your 2:15 time, come to the community room and see Cola Voce performing its dress rehearsal for the Pops concert. There's lots to do with that group. Several years ago, we actually went to South Africa on tour.
Hey, Bob.
Yes.
I have another question for you from Phineas, asking if we offer a ballet class.
Ballet is actually part of the classic moves that you learn in the introduction class. We don't teach ballet as a single art form, but it's one of the classic art forms that will be instructed not just in the introductory class, but in the advanced course that follows that.
Thank you.
I think we're about open for questions. I can start rambling on if you'd like me to. Lots going on in the performing arts at our school. Acapella groups visit. We have workshops.
Bob, what if I give you some questions?
Oh, questions would be great.
All right. Let's. How many art classes can I take at once?
Two.
Well, you can take up to 2 classes if they meet at their introductory courses and they meet at the same time. I would expect that you probably could balance even 3 if they were all 2 days a week, but maybe not. But you can take you could probably take dance and take art at the same time. I would think that would be a combination that you could take photo and you could take chorus maybe at the same time. It just depends on how many signups there are for the particular courses and how available they are to the students and whether or not they fit into the schedule. Many of the fine arts classes that we offer are what we call singletons, and a singleton is at a certain period, and sometimes if 2 singletons are offered during the same period, perhaps playing in the orchestra and playing singing in colla voce, or not in the orchestra, it's not being offered this year, but playing in caravan and playing in singing with colla voce. Sometimes those kind of things don't work out because they might be taught at the same period. That's a very good question. We'd like you to try to sign up for 2 fine arts. Do your best. Yeah.
We have a question from Lauren, who asks, do you need to provide your own point-and-shoot camera for photography?
No. In fact, you don't need to provide anything, Lauren. You just come. There are plenty of cameras for everyone. There's plenty of cameras for point-and-shoot and then for the SLRs. One thing to keep in mind, because it's expensive camera equipment, every student is asked to sign out kind of a waiver that if the camera gets damaged, you're responsible for it. So you fill that out, your parents sign it, and then we keep a file for that. But you don't need to bring anything, just you.
Okay, I have another question for Bob. If I want to be in the play, do I have to sign up for Drama 1?
Not necessarily. Actually, we offer credit for being in the play, class credit. It's not an advanced credit, but it is a credit, and that you do not need to be in drama in order to audition for any of the after-school activities that involve the drama department or the music department.
Excellent.
That's a great question.
What if I can't make up my mind?
Aha. Well, then you ask yourself what you're kind of curious about. You think about things that you'd like to try. And if you feel like too scared or nervous to try something because you didn't have a lot of art in middle school, or you never danced before, or you like singing at home in the shower, but you've never been in a chorus, this is the time to try it. It really is, because there's so many options for you, and you're so open to learning at this point that you should really push yourself to try something you've never done before, because I think you will be pleasantly surprised at what you can do, and you'll be pleasantly surprised at the people you meet.
Excellent. And well, who should I ask if I have a specific question about a kind of art class?
I think you should just ask any of us. Ask me. I'll direct you to the right person. I think that you should come and just visit a class. If you're interested in colla voce, I would just poke your nose, because you're going to be here, poke your nose into the community room. We're singing and having a great time in there. We'd love to see you. It might spark an interest. If you're interested in art, go up to the art studio and check in with Aunt Murphy, or whatever you're interested in, check in with one of the faculty members. Or start with me, and I'll send you to the right person.
We're always happy to answer questions, and it's nice to actually meet the new students, so our doors are open.
What if I do art, either I've been doing it in middle school or I do it in my extracurricular time? do I have to take an introductory class?
Well, usually yes. Although, you know, we can look at your portfolio and we can talk about what you're doing. The benefit of taking a beginning 2D class is this. You're starting high school and you're the youngest people in the high school, and there's a lot happening for you socially, academically, emotionally, and being in a beginning art class is the right place for that place that you're in developmentally. And I'm not, I mean, there's different cases. We'll look at it on a case-by-case basis, but I would say 95% of the time, it's best to take the beginning art class because you're with your peers and the subject matter is appropriate to your age, the technique that you're learning is appropriate to your age, and it's just a safe place for your development, your creative development.
I think that was a terrific answer, Anne. I find it best that being with your peers, especially if you're new to the school, is really, really important in the classes. That sometimes it can be overwhelming when you join Cola Voce and you're in ninth grade and everybody else has been in the group before. So staying with your peers is really, really important. But sometimes there are people who have a lot of experience in their field, and then you should talk specifically about that experience to the teacher that you'd like to pass out of a course. But we don't do that very often.
Okay, Bob. I have two questions coming in from our visitors, one from Phineas Patterson that I'm going to answer, and then another one from Chloe Rimmerman. So Phineas asked, can you look in on any given class that you are thinking about joining? And I will say the answer is you're definitely welcome to come by, but anytime. And if there's an art class going on, we can definitely bring you to the class. So I would say email Christian Donovan or Mary Fahey in the admissions office to come see a class in action. But there's also what Bob mentioned at the beginning of the year, beginning of the webinar, a 2-week add drop period. So in September, when you get here, you'll get your schedules and you'll see what courses you were scheduled into, and you will be able to work with the scheduler and visit classes if you are still unsure. So those are the two ways in which we would love to have you and show you what we do. We're very proud of our artwork.
And just while we're on that, we had a marvelous art show just a few weeks back, and even though some of the items have been taken down, a lot of the art is still up in the middle school hallway and in the community room. You should just come and browse some of the art that's still up, and it's a good example of what we do here at Head-Royce.
And then Chloe's question is, do play rehearsals take place during school hours or after? And she said, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Plays are by audition. Most everybody always gets into the play if you audition for it. They happen after school between the hours of 3:30 and 5. And I did want to say that this year in the spring we are doing a musical that has not been announced yet, and I'm looking forward to teaming up with Kathleen Ray and the drama department and putting together a wonderful music that'll probably be performed in late March or early April.
Let me see if I have a few more questions for you. We don't have any guests with questions, so let me see what questions I wrote for you.
All right.
Are you applying, Shahana, to the 9th grade next year?
I would love to be in the 9th grade. But
what question do you have, Ms. Sarkar?
Unfortunately, my son is also coming in 9th grade.
Oh, that's correct, and he's in my class right now.
How far can I go in an art class? What's the most advanced class I can take?
I'll speak from my perspective, which is the studio art perspective. So with 3D art, you can go to advanced 3D. So after you fulfill your beginning 3D requirement, you can go to advanced 3D, which meets one long period a week and then one short, so 3 periods a week. And If you go for the 2D option, you fulfill your beginning requirement. Then the second class you take it is advanced 2D. After that, you can make the decision to go into advanced placement fine art, which is a 2-year class, usually your junior and senior year. That's one track you can take. Or you can take another track, which is an advanced studio class, which is also for your junior and senior year, but you don't take the advanced placement exam.
Great, thank you. Phineas has another question that I'm going to answer.
Okay.
I'm asking whether rehearsals conflict with sports. And the answer is it depends on the sport. But there are 2 play performances, so 2 sets of rehearsals, one in the fall and one in the spring. And our sports seasons are trimesters, so we have a fall set of sports, a winter set of sports, and a spring set of sports. So it does depend on which semester and trimester of sport you're talking about. But if you are in a fall semester sport and in the fall play, the rehearsals probably would conflict. And depending on what you wanted to do in the play, you would have to talk to both your coach and Ms. Ray about whether or not it would work. There are some times when it does work, if you have a smaller part and you're on a team that's not as practice intensive. And there are some times when the conflict is not resolvable. So it just depends on your specific scenario.
We like to resolve any conflicts. And we work together really well with the physical education department.
Great.
Athletics.
Yep. We have 2 more questions. One from Lauren. If you want to work on the yearbook, do you need to take the graphics class?
Yes. So, Lauren, the graphics class is the class that you take if you're interested in making the yearbook. And I really love when freshmen join this class because what happens oftentimes, people join the class as freshmen and then they stay with graphics for the life of their high school career. So they do freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year as a member of the graphics team. And the staff who makes the yearbook is a very lively, fun, close-knit group of kids who, many of them have worked together on the yearbook staff for 3 and 4 years now. So in your freshman year, you begin to learn all of the different softwares that are associated with making a production like a yearbook. So you learn InDesign, which is the software that we use to lay the book out. You'll learn Photoshop and Illustrator. You'll also learn some elements of photography, definitely writing, things like headlines. There's an investigation into fonts and themes. It's a very intensive, busy class, but it's also it's really fun. And there's a lot of pride in the building of the book. Thank you for asking that.
All right, I'm going to take the last question,
Okay.
which came from Sonia, who asked, do you offer computer science, and if so, how far does it go? Sonia, Anne and Bob are talking about fine arts, and the computer science is another elective that we offer, set of electives. We actually offer 4 classes in computer science, an introduction to computer science, which is roughly the same time commitment as an introductory fine art. And then AP Computer Science, which is programming, and you do take the exam. You can take the AP class as a freshman, though. You don't have to take the intro class if you are in honors math class. And then there are 2 classes post-AP for those who complete the AP course. On Wednesday, during the spring orientation, we will have a more in-depth presentation about, not much more, but a little bit more information about a few other non-arts electives that are an option for you, which include computer science, speech and debate, and expository writing, which is our school newspaper. So with that, I'm going to wrap up our Fine Arts webinar. Thank you so much, Anne Murphy and Bob Wells, both of whom can be reached at their email address, which is their first initial and last name at headroyce.org. So A. Murphy or B. Wells at headroyce.org. A lot of the information can also be found on our scheduling website, www.headroyce.org/new9, which is a new scheduling. It's the scheduling website for new ninth graders, and it has the same information as the scheduling webpage.
Well, thank you, Ms. Sarkar, for having us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Ann Murphy.
Thank you guys.
And
for
thank you
asking.
to Lauren and Phineas and Chloe and all the people that asked the questions. I hope to meet you. Come up and say hi. I'll be there at the orientation on Wednesday, and we look forward to meeting you and seeing you in class.
If there are any last questions, quickly type them in. Otherwise, I will remind you that at 6:30 we'll have another webinar with the world language folks. And then a reminder that Wednesday at 2:15 in the Reed Library we'll meet for the spring orientation, and we'll meet you in person, which we're very excited about. And that please make sure to sign up for an academic advising slot on Saturday, April 30th, where we'll talk to you individually about your interests, your passions, and your choices. So for all of us, thank you, welcome, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Goodbye.
Okay, thanks.